Hey everybody. Uh, Sorry, wasn't able to get out and do too many videos today. I got the community center up and I did the Moku update because I was right there. Um, I had to get back after the air check, to start getting ready for the meeting. So, just wanted to give you a quick update of what's happening tonight. Activity still down at the bottom, Kalukai, and at Leilani and Luana, and in between Luana and Ohia on the Malama side of the neighborhood. Um, Currently, from what I'm being told, the lava is slowly approaching the Puna geothermal power plant, um, but it's having to kind of move uphill. So what that basically means is that lava lake is growing because that's the only way lava can go uphill, which is kind of interesting because intuitively you wouldn't think lava could go uphill, but in a situation like we got here, the outside edges are, cooling very quickly and crusting over and creating, you know, a bowl basically, and that bowl is growing taller, and um, along with the growth of the bowl, so does the actual level of the molten lava. So at some point, one of the edges will give. Now, it is my belief, and this is purely just my opinion and speculative, well, speculative opinion based on what I know. Um, it would most likely be the edge of the lake that would give way first is more likely to be on the lower side towards the ocean versus on the higher side, which would be towards Puna geothermal. Um, because like I said, it has to go uphill on the PGV side. So, the bowl's kind of sitting in a little bit of a basin, but there is still that downslope heading that way where all the lava has traveled to get to the ocean. So, um, I would believe that it would probably breach on that side more likely, but it's not impossible that it breaches on the PGV side. Actually, it could be multiple breaches at the same time. It's not something you can predict. It's just one of those things that is a roll of dice. You just got to wait and see. So that's that. So we've had military choppers flying over. It looked like they were running drills. Uh, it looked like they were doing a Pahoa to Seaview run. They flew over and one right behind the other. I don't know, maybe 5, 6 times earlier this evening, just before it got dark, and it's like they were completing a cycle because every 15 to 20 minutes they would come over again. So apparently it took about 15 to 20 minutes to fly out to Seaview from Pahoa across the top of Leilani and simulate a evacuee pickup, and then get back in the air and run back to Pahoa and drop them off. So each run was taking just around, I would say, 20 minutes, and there was two and helicopters, military helicopters, and they were the big ones. I mean, when they were coming in, you could hear them coming. Um, which was kind of cool to see. I wish I would have been able to film it, but I didn't realize, the timing until pretty much after they were done. So I was like, oh, darn it, it's one of the things. You just set the camera up and let it record. But I didn't know it was going to be, one of those things because there was no communication from uh, pretty much anybody, to anybody in here, or excuse me, from anybody to anybody in here that they were going to be doing this. So that's that. It's part of the problem. So let's wrap. Don't want to make this too long. So let me move on to the community meeting, which was a amazing success. I was very surprised with the turnout. I was originally expecting maybe a couple dozen people would actually show up. However, we ended up with somewhere around 70 people. I don't have the official count yet, but yeah, it was all chairs filled, standing room only, and every parking space in the center, which y'all saw in the video, was full. So we had literally a packed house, which was pretty impressive and surprising. Actually, more surprising than I thought it would. But when we have community meetings, even the ones held by the county and stuff at the Pahoa Community Center, there's usually a pretty big turnout as well. So what we've decided is we've got a course of action, we've got a plan of action. The first step is we've decided we're going to draft up some letters. Everybody that is willing or wants to sign will be given the opportunity Monday and Tuesday to do so, because there is a Pahoa Puna community meeting up at the Pahoa High School at tomorrow, or excuse me, Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock, I believe it is. And see, that's part of one of the problems that we're having with this curfew is that, the cutoff time is 6 p.m. They've been holding the big community meetings, at 5:30. So if anyone that's staying inside Leilani decides to go to this meeting, they can't get back in, or because if and so it's like, isn't that counterproductive? But I think it's just overall they don't want us here, so they've been trying every little tactic to encourage us to leave, but they don't get it. We're at the very top half of the neighborhood, and we have had 3 days of bad air. And even then, it wasn't super bad. I mean, you didn't want to be outside without a mask, but you stayed inside with your windows closed. It was fine. And beautiful thing is it was a rainy day, so it kept it cool too. So it wasn't that difficult. And if it had gotten where being inside was intolerable, yeah, we'd leave. But here's the funny thing about it: where they wanted us to go, to one of the shelters, because of the sulfur dioxide and stuff. These 3 days that it was bad here, it was apparently even worse up there, because the shelter is what's an open air shelter. Because on this side of the island, we don't have a lot of places don't have air conditioning. We just don't need it. The weather is always that good, and we spend most of our time outside. Anyways, it's one of the reasons why we love living in Hawaii. We've got normally beautiful weather, year round. At some elevation, if you're too cold, you get closer to the ocean. If you're too hot, you go up the mountain. I mean, so who needs an air conditioning, right? Or an air conditioner, right? I don't have one in my house. Don't need it. I don't even have a heater unit or anything like that. I just don't need it. So yeah, so that's a fun little fact. I thought I'd share with y'all. But anyways, so we're drafting the letter. I got off topic. We're drafting the letter. We're going to present it Tuesday evening at the meeting with all the signatures on it, and we're going to have multiple copies, which is going to be presented to all the pertinent officials that will be in the meeting. Because the one good thing about these community meetings, up at the high school is all the right people tend to be there. It's just it seems like no one's talking about us, and that's because we're all stuck in here and can't get there. So is that just one of those bad planning things, or is it deliberate? I mean, I really can't say, and I won't even speculate on that one, but it does make you ask the question. And that's the problem. I should not have to be asking that question of our officials. But I didn't mean to get into a rant on this one. They are doing a good job. I don't want anybody to think they're just sitting around doing nothing. They are doing, and I can honestly say this, they are doing the best that they can. And I would expect a little bit more, but you know, we're in Hawaii. Things work differently here, and that was one of the things that I was willing to accept, when I moved here, to literally be more self-sufficient. And that's a good thing, especially in today's world. We get so dependent on, other things that sometimes we forget that the most important thing about life is experience. And instead, we sit in front of screens, YouTube, video games. I'm just as guilty as everyone else. But anyways, guys, like I said, I'm just rambling now. This is my night view tonight. Very similar to last night. So far, not as bright. We also have a nice little moon out. I don't know how well that shows up on the camera. But so far, the clouds are staying away from it. So but it's yellow. You can tell there's a bunch of haze up there. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get out and run around, get some videos of the current action. So until next time.